Welcome back to this week's podcast. I'm Peter Alsop. Today is a special treat because our song to chew today is from my hot-off-the-press new album, Camping with Dads. It's called Skin Color. Camping with Dads is kind of a folk story song album designed to help dads raise our sons' awareness of the need to respect our daughters and ourselves. The songs are woven together like a radio theater show. So before we listen, I'll fill you in on what's been happening. We just hiked up a really steep mountain, and we lost some of our gear slipping and sliding in the water as we crossed a fast-moving mountain stream. We've had lunch, and I've just fallen asleep. And guess what? I had a dream and a special visitor. So sing along with us if you like. It's a very singable chorus. And now, here's Skin Color.
Perhaps it's time for us to set up our tent, Peter.
What? Who are you? I know you. You're Martin Luther King. What are you doing here?
Okay, this isn't real.
This isn't real?
No, I'm having a dream.
I have a dream.
No. Don't start that. This is my dream. We're on a camping trip, and I must have drifted off after lunch, and you're not really here.
Seems to me like I'm here. You and Stuart and Gerald and Norman, Chad and the kids.
Yeah, we're all here, Peter.
You can all see Martin Luther King standing right here?
Yeah, you okay?
He helped carry my djembe.
And he brought chocolate for some s'mores later.
He said he was sharing the tent with you.
Really? So you're really Dr. King?
Yes, that's me. You seem confused.
Well, I am a bit. I'm an old white guy, probably racist, but is that why you're in my dream?
No, I know the whole system is racist, Peter.
That's right, brother.
And we're all working on changing that.
Granddad's got a Skin Color song.
I know all about his song. Sung it myself at many a service.
Wait, you know my song?
It's a wonderful song. Let's sing it right now.
But
Come
you...
on!
We'll sing it with you.
I'll push the button on the Sonical Digital Musical Song box.
What, that's in my dream too?
Come on!
Okay. As soon as we're born, grown-ups check how we look.
And they look up our color in the skin color book.
If we're darker or lighter, they size up our skin.
'Cause they wanna know where we're gonna fit in. It's only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades, you too. 'Cause you're one of us.
Come on, try it.
It's only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades, you too. 'Cause you're one of us. Now racism happens when folks are afraid.
And that fear gets passed on to us kids, so they say. Our parents who love us want us to go far.
But our choices get fewer the darker we are.
Well, it's
only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades, you too. 'Cause you're one of us.
And most grown-ups know how this whole system works. It was set up by white guys with odd jerky quirks. No matter our color, let's all take a stand. 'Cause this skin color thing's gotten way out of hand.
Well, it's only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades, you too. 'Cause you're one of us.
When us kids make friends, it's not based on our skin. And we usually don't care whose family you're in. We like other kids who have good appeal. We make friends with kids who care how we feel.
Well, it's
only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades, you too. 'Cause you're one of us.
We know it's no fair to treat some folks like less.
This skin color thing makes the whole world a mess.
Inside all our bodies, we have the same stuff.
So let's all just decide that
Enough is enough. Well, it's only a skin color, that's how we're made. It's only a skin color, what's all the fuss? It's only a skin color, all different shades. You too, 'cause you're one of us. All right, amen.
That was my pal Greg Hilfman on piano. He's been the recording engineer on most of my albums, and he's a complete keyboard wizard. He used to play with the Bangles, and the singers with me were members of the cast on Camping with Dads. The dads who played themselves were actor, teacher, and djembe instructor Gerald Rivers, known for his characterization of Martin Luther King; Norman Jones, who plays djembe on the album with us and is the leader of the band Rhythm Child. They played at the White House, for the Obamas. Stuart Stotts is the most wonderful singer-songwriter friend and guitarist from Wisconsin, and my son-in-law, actor and director Chad Shepner. For the chorus, he brought my grandkids, Quinlan and Leon Shepner, and Julius Poland, who's 5 years old, we call him JT, along with 3 other talented Topanga kids, Gabby and Brody Beauvais and Cosmo Bernstein. The melody for this song was stolen. Well, actually it's borrowed from one of my other songs, one about gender and sexual orientation that some of you might have heard. It's called It's Only a Wee Wee, So What's the Big Deal? It's only a wee wee, so what's the big deal? It's only a wee wee, so what's all the fuss? It's only a wee wee and everyone's got one. There's better things to discuss. Sounds a lot like a kid's song, but it's really for adults. Utah Phillips actually recorded it on one of his albums. I use that melody because as a sing-along song, it works great to bring up and focus on a topic with a bunch of different perspectives. Things can get packed up and loaded onto a topic like racism or gender identity. So in this song, we have a chorus that everyone sings, and then in the verse, we can unpack some of the different perspectives to get folks all knotted up. Then when we get to the chorus again, we can think about the ideas we brought up in the verse. Brilliant, huh? Using a song like this helps us make some of these complicated ideas clear and simple enough for kids. So adults can use a song like this to lay out ideas on the table without scaring the kids. Then we can talk about how we feel and discuss what we can do to change things for the better. Things like how us parents are concerned about our children's future when we know that our choices get fewer the darker we are. Or how do we teach kids about people who carry around some really mean-spirited and fearful attitudes? Or about the reality of needing to keep ourselves safe if we're people of color. Or if we're white, how do we teach kids with privilege about privilege? A song like this gives us a chance to discuss with our kids how and when we need to speak up for our friends who don't have some of the privileges that we do. Most kids, as they get older, become aware of the injustices that people of color face in our culture. They can see for themselves that it's gotten way out of hand, to quote the song. Little kids don't seem to have as much difficulty as grown-ups do with skin color because little kids just see the other person without all the other emotional and conceptual baggage that we learn to carry. That cultural training begins really early as the adults around us model and teach us how to treat others by the way they act toward each other. There's a wonderful song from the musical South Pacific written in 1949 by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein called You've Got to Be Carefully Taught. It's about racism. And what the heck, I'll give it a try here. You have got to be taught to hate and to fear, day after day, year after year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You have got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. There was an interesting study that I heard about in graduate school. Not sure who did it. I tried to look it up but couldn't find it. Anyway, it's a good story. Seems that some researchers had monkeys in 2 adjoining cages. After teaching them a simple task, a crunchy nugget of food would roll down a chute into a dish as a reward every time the monkeys performed the task. Of course, they watched each other. They didn't really need to compete. There was plenty of food and everyone was happy. But then, dun 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 dun, one day, when the monkeys in cage A completed the simple task, a fresh piece of banana rolled down the chute. The cage A monkeys got really excited about this and kept replicating the task. Well, the monkeys in cage B watched all this for a while, and then they went to work and completed the same task that the monkeys in cage A had just done. But all that rolled down into their dish was another crunchy nugget. They went about the task again, and still all they got were crunchy nuggets. Didn't take long for them to start complaining vocally about this discrepancy, and eventually they started throwing the nuggets at any researcher who happened to come within range. The point being, animals, like people, know when they're being treated unjustly. It's pretty darn obvious, and as all kids say to their parents sometime in their lives, no fair! When my kids used to say that, I'd say, you want a fair? Go to Pomona, which is where they hold the Pomona Fair every year. Of course, that doesn't work anymore now that my kids are in their 40s, and they've schooled me about the unfair parental privileges I was misusing. Racism is unjust and unfair, and it's not funny. It's debilitating to all of us who don't call it out for what it is when we see it operating around us in our social systems. And it's not enough to just call it out. We need to take some action of any kind to stop it and point it out when it happens. It's our job to raise our own awareness about when we are unjust ourselves. It's way past time for us to work a bit harder to make a more equitable world for all of us. That's it for today. Thanks for subscribing to this podcast and for stopping by. If you'd like to support the arts, please go to peteralsop.hearnow, HEARNOW.com, and pick up Camping with Dads as a digital download or as an actual CD. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next week with another song to chew.